Hello everyone. I welcome you all to this wonderful masterclass which name is 5 habits of successful relationships that last. And why this topic of relationships? Number one reason is being a Valentine's Day. So wish you all a very happy Valentine's Day. The main message of Valentine's Day is love. Be love, do love and spread love. But the main challenge for all of us is how to do it. So, how many of you feel that love is not enough for having long lasting relationships? Thank you. How many of you feel that relationship is really an important source of life? Maybe you're working at home, or maybe you're working at your workplace. You have a nice career, or you are in a job, you are running a business. Everywhere you're dealing with people. Do you agree? If yes, then raise your hands. Thank you very much. And do you think that many times our happiness gets affected by the quality of relationships around us? If yes, yes, thank you very much for your response. And if you feel that relationships are not that important and actually your happiness is within you, and if you love yourself, everything can be taken care of, and it is really not important to work on relationships that much as the world is saying, then maybe this masterclass is not for you. But if you feel that yes, relationship is the driving factor, relationships are like the pillars of your happiness. If you think that even if people are saying out there that self love is important and your inner happiness is what makes your life fulfilling, but when you go out in the practical life, if you face issues with your relationships and if you feel driven to do something great because you have great relationships, or you feel disappointed because your relationships are not going well, then you are in the right place, because this is that masterclass which is going to give you a beautiful and amazing perspective about relationships and how to look at life. So, are you ready and excited? If yes, then raise your hand, because I am really very excited to bring this wonderful session in front of you. And before that, let me share my screen so that I can uh, create certain wonderful things for you. Now, just a minute. Yes. Okay, so we are here at the first slide. I hope that you can see my screen. So, 5 habits of successful relationships that last without getting stressed or disappointed. How many of you think that in this world right now, there are many cases of people dealing with mental and emotional issues? These people are bogged down by stress, disappointment, and anxiety. Thank you very much if you have observed it. And even if you have observed or not observed it, let me tell you the fact, or and that this fact comes from the research. The research done by World Health Organization, or there are many groups of people who are nowadays doing great work in mental health and emotional health. They say that stress is actually the primary factor for affecting your physical health. Yes, most of the diseases, around 95% of diseases around us, are caused by stress. There is a threshold, there is a limit to which we can tolerate it, and that's why stress is affecting your relationships, stress is also affecting your physical health, and stress is also affecting your work. So basically it is impacting your life in all the areas and from all the angles. Imagine yourself having a stress free life. Don't you think that you will be able to earn more money for your family? You will be able to serve more, and you will be able to foster and nurture people and relationships around you. Of course. So we think that stress is the enemy of our happiness, correct? Let's get into the session. Let's step into this masterclass and see who is the enemy. Now, if you are really excited for that, then raise your hand because I am so excited. If you stay till the end, then you are here within amongst those chosen few who will get the Valentine's special gift. Being it a Valentine's Day, I have planned something special for you because I feel that if you are giving your precious time to this masterclass, then I need to honor you and you will not get disappointed at the end of this 90 minutes. I promise you that these 1.5 hours is going to add a lot of value to your life. Your undivided attention will make you a magic wand for love. Now, love has many different versions. Love has many different ways to express, to receive, to give, and to spread. If you give your undivided attention to this session today, to this masterclass, then yes, there is a lot of possibility that you will understand what actually love is and how you can use these principles which are put in the form of habits for your own good. At the end of this session, at the end of this masterclass, you will go with many wonderful things to take away. So value of relationships in your life, its impact on work and family, changing trends. So then there is recent research about what is going on in the world, 5 habits of successful relationships that last. How can you create certain changes in your mindset so that you get blessed with long lasting relationships? And there is a special Valentine's gift as a bonus for you. Now, when I say long lasting relationships, I just want to make it clear in the beginning of the session that I am not particularly talking about only a relationship between husband and wife. I am not talking about any particular relationship. In fact, this masterclass is going to be helpful for you even if you are divorced, even if you are single, even if you are married, and even if you think that everything is good in my life, but I want to elevate my life to the next level. So, these habits of the relationship are going to help you in your work, which will really help you to earn more money. It will also help you to improve your own happiness quotient because when you apply these principles in your family life, it will give you a lot of benefits. So when you are having great relationships at home and work, don't you think that you will be a happy individual? So ultimately it is going to affect your self esteem and your personal happiness level. Before we go into the 5 habits, I want to make sure that you make these 4 important agreements with you. So, what are these important agreements in between you and me? Number one is transparency. What is transparency? What I'm going to share here is actually the truth, which has come as a conclusion after going through a lot of research papers, studies done by different people, and then implementation of these principles in my own real life and in the lives of other people around me. All the case studies that are shared in this masterclass are real, but because of constraint of sharing their privacy, I might not have shared the names of all the people. Number two is energy and work. Make sure that results will come only and only if you take action. If you are an action taker, then you will see the results. And if you feel that just by coming in this masterclass, but by listening to this 90 minutes masterclass, things will start changing. And if at the end of the masterclass you go out, don't make any change and don't apply these principles, then attending this masterclass is not going to help you. You need to put energy and work into your life to create those desired results. And what is the most important factor is that in relationships, what is involved is the most complex structure in this universe. What do you think? What is the most complex structure in the universe or in this world? It is your mind, correct? It is human mind. So if you think that handling people is easy or difficult, then maybe this is your judgment. But if you put in right energy and right work into this, into these principles, then this is going to elevate your life to the next level. Number third is ownership. You might be complaining that, oh, I am a very good person, but my wife, my husband, or my boss, or my colleagues, or my siblings, or my parents in law, they are not actually that good, or they have done this wrong to me. You don't know, Pallavi, how badly treated I was. And you might be going into self pity sometimes. But I just want to let you know that everything you are saying is absolutely valid. There are different types of people in the world, but what is important to know is that we don't have any power to change other people. Yes, even if this sounds really rude, but the truth is that no person in this world has been successful in changing the other person. But what we can do is we can take the ownership of our life, because when we take ownership, then we can discover that power within us, which can create the transformation in our life. Your inner world creates your outer world. So if you are here attending this masterclass, then I believe and I accept that you are the one who is taking the ownership of your life. So when you take ownership, you take power back in your hands. You are not giving that power away to someone else to drive your life. How do you want your life to be? Who is going to decide that? Your boss, your partner, your children, or your parents? No, it is you. So if you are here, I believe that you are an action taker and you take full ownership. Then comes opportunity. If you are a growth minded person, then answer this question: what do we do when there is an opportunity? Of course, we grab it, correct? So if you think that this masterclass can offer you an opportunity to elevate your life to the next level, then I just want to let you know that this will be a wonderful opportunity for you. And if you can grab it, you can elevate yourself to the next level. And if you don't grab it, then it also becomes your choice. Correct? Sometimes our life is just a result of our choices, different choices made at different times of life. So let's say now you must be asking, why are you doing this? Good question. Now I'm also asking myself, why am I doing this? Great. Now you're going to get the answer to this. First answer I would like to share with you is my values. Yeah, I have gone through a lot of challenges in money, health, and relationship areas. And after many struggling days, and after a lot of energy spent on solving the problems of my life, I come to know that the best way to live your life is to live by values. Because when your values are defined, decision making becomes easy. When your values are defined, you can make proper choices that are aligned with your intentions, with yourself. When your values are aligned with yourself, then people cannot take unnecessary advantage of you, because you are operating from not that ego perspective. You are not operating from selfish perspective, but you are operating from joy that is within you. So when I align myself with these values, I feel utmost joy. I feel utmost joy. So my main values to live by is compassion, contribution, and growth. Whatever I do, I make sure that compassion is the main ingredient. So even if I'm working in my clinic with my patient, I make sure that every moment my heart is beating with compassion. Compassion is nothing but the wish to see others free from suffering. So, this strong intention of making others free from suffering is reflected in this act of presenting this masterclass in front of you. So, whatever I do, I know that I am working with people, and if I am working with people, it gives me immense joy when my heart radiates compassion towards them. So make sure that if you ever have an opportunity to interact with me, you're going to get a space free from judgment. Your privacy is highly respected, and you're going to get that freedom of expression in the space of non judgment. Yes, you're welcome and you're loved. Number two value is contribution. Whenever I interact with anyone, wherever I go, my question here is that How can I contribute? Because when I contribute, I feel good about myself. When I contribute, it makes me live my life by the intention, by the purpose I have. So contribution is the main value I like to live by. Then growth. If there is any opportunity to do any work, to get engaged with something, then if I am growing, I know that it is for me. But if I'm not growing, then I'm not a part of it. So my three values drive me drive me every day. My three values fill my heart with a lot of enthusiasm and excitement to do anything that is presented. And that's why I love what I do and I do what I love. The next reason is our education system. Why am I doing this? Because by my own experience, I have understood and come to this conclusion that our education system actually lacks the education of physical and mental health. There is no curriculum about relationship building, and there is no reason or there is no subject which teaches us the purpose of our work and how to manage or multiply your money. I myself have been a bright student in my school days, college days, and in my graduation days when I was in the process of becoming a doctor. And I found out that there in all my these many years of education which I got till the age of 23, I was not given any guidance by any person about physical and mental health. How can you be happy, and what is that main factor, how you can live your life by intention? No. Relationship building, how to nurture your friendships, how to have guidance about marriage, or how to bond with your parents in law, I didn't know. And purpose of work and money. I was presented with many books to study, and I was a very good student. So, in that attempt to become a good student, I studied, and only studied. So, when I came into the real world, I actually fell flat. And I found out that I was not ready to earn money, I was not ready to build my relationships, and both of these factors put me down to the valley of depression. Because when you know that you are not a fit candidate for this world, you feel lost. By my own experience, when I went ahead and talked to many people, I found out that the main problem right now we are facing is the current education system, which doesn't teach us to live a truly peaceful, fulfilling, abundant, healthy, and happy life. And that's why my mission is to empower people, heal themselves, and manifest their truest identities. And that's why my vision is to collectively empower every human on earth to live a life of abundance and fulfillment. So, how does that sound to you? Whenever I think about my mission and vision, I feel so amazing. And this is one driving factor which makes me live every day with a lot of enthusiasm. So, even if I'm working for 12 to 15 hours a day, I don't feel tired because I know that my vision is clear, and I know that I am aligned and aware of my mission every minute. And why does that happen? Because I found out that when I healed myself and I manifested my truest identity, everything in my life started shifting. And with a lot of, with many days of disappointment, many days of feeling low, or many days of really going down in every area of life, I was like, I know everything and I am a doctor. No one can teach me. And this was about like when I was in my late 20s and early 30s. And I found out that why do I need to take help when I am so intelligent, I am so talented, I have done so well in my studies? If I can do that, I can do this. But very soon, I found out that I was nothing but the victim of my own ego. So, my biggest and worst enemy was not the people around me. So, my enemies were not my parents or my husband or my staff members in clinic or my in laws or my friends. My biggest enemy was my ego. This awareness came late in my life, but when it came, it transformed every area. Yeah. So my ego is my enemy. And when I was going through that phase of depression, I was like, when I go to my clinic, I have these complaints about my staff members. Why are not they? Why aren't they doing the best possible? work in clinic, if I have this strong intention of giving best possible treatment to my patients, why aren't they doing the same? It is so easy. Then I had issues with patients. Even if I had good hard skills and I was very good at my work, many times patients didn't take decision to get treated by me. Again, my ego was like, if you don't want to get treated by me, that's okay, it's your problem. So this was my self talk. At home, I had n number of arguments with my husband, and the staff members that I was working with in my home and at my work, with all of them, my relationship was strained. Slowly, I started looking at my life that I'm not feeling successful, and my income was going down because I did not have a good relationship with my staff members and patients. My happiness quotient was going down, and I was then like, my parents didn't teach me this. My parents didn't train me for this. That's why I'm facing this issue. See that person, they are so good at that, but my parents only asked me to study, and so I did. And this is where I am today. Did I get educated for all this? And in that questions, I was actually blaming other people around me. Started with my parents and then life partner and every each and every person in my life. So it actually affected my personal happiness. It affected my relationships, where at one point I was thinking that why did I get married at the first place? And it also reduced my income. And then one day, I just listened to one spiritual leader and she said that you are the center of your life. And this statement actually hit me hard. If I am the center of my life, then what is stopping me? And when I just went deeper into this topic, I found out that there must be some solution to this problem. And what is the one stop workable solution for all problems that I was facing? It was relationship building. So the solution was relationship building. I understood that if I build this relationship with other people in my life, I build this relationship with myself, then everything around me will start shifting. And this actually happened. So if you don't know anything about me, will you give me a permission to share something about me? If yes, then thank you very much. So I am Dr. Pallavi Kher. I live in India. In the state of Maharashtra, in the city of Nagpur. I'm a practicing dentist by profession. I have a successfully running practice along with my husband. I am a manifestation and relationship coach by passion, and I have two wonderful sons. So, as a fitness enthusiast, I believe in harmonious balance of physical and mental health. I have been uh, I have been a runner, I have been a power lifter, and in that journey, I found out that physical and mental health are closely related to each other. I'm also a member of Emerging Future Foundation, and our intention is holistic healing and mental well being for all. So, this is what we work for, and I like to live my life by purpose and values. So, this program, this masterclass, is nothing but the byproduct of my intention, my massive transformative purpose. After going through many research papers and studies, there were many good stuff out there on the internet. Harvard research says that good relationship is the secret to health and happiness. So they say that if you learn to manage interpersonal relationships, then you can create massive growth in your business, at your workplace, even in your family life. There are certain principles, and why relationships are complex, because what is the most complex element that is involved is human mind. And now if you learn to manage your interpersonal relationships, you can achieve real success. uh, no curriculum and no studies or no education system in the world is teaching us how to have great relationships with each other and self. So, this is going to be something which is not taught in the classroom, but this is going to help you immensely in your real life. There are many researches and studies which show that happy relationships are actually the nurturing source of care and support. And the core of happy relationship is built on trust, respect, safety, acceptance, freedom of choice, and positive communication. So, self relationships are free from all abuse, neglect, and other threats to one or more person's physical and mental safety and well being and development. There are many groups of people right now all over the world which are working towards having healthy relationships. So I'm glad that there is a lot of awareness. And when I started working on this topic, when I started working on this, I found out that if you have good relationship with your life partner, then it gets reflected in all the areas of your life. When you work together at home, even you have good happy sharings with each other, it affects your personal happiness to a great extent. Similarly, when you have harmonious relationships with your colleagues, with your boss, or with the staff members at your workplace, your productivity increases. Yes, and this I experienced in my own clinic when I started implementing these principles of relationships with my staff members. They started giving more to their work. This made my work easier because when they got aligned with their intention, the quality of work changed. And then all those advices stopped, all those instructions stopped, all those frustrations stopped. And these relationship principles helped me immensely in earning more money than ever. And it also helped me in creating harmonious balance at my workplace, means my clinic and my home. So, relationships means any relationship. It is not about just husband and wife. It is with your parents, your friends, or with your grandparents, with your staff members, with your boss, with your business partner, or with your children. It can be with anyone. But then what happens when people inculcate habits of relationships? If you don't, if you are not aware of what are these habits of relationships, then I must say that you're missing out on a lot of joy life has to offer. So when these people started inculcating these habits of relationships into their lives, then I just want to share few sharings of people who worked with me and created a wonderful change in their lives. So Kosar says that she can feel change in her perspective and thought pattern, which has solved my problem from root, and I see improvement in my relationship with husband. So she is one person who was actually in a victim mentality, and she thought that everyone is responsible for her sadness or for her depression. She was suffering with depression for many years, and she was taking medicines for that. And after working with me for a few months, she found remarkable change in her life, and she got freedom from the medicines of depression. Yes, when you start working on your relationships, automatically you create that shift in your inner world, and then it starts affecting your health in a good or bad way. So when she started taking a stand for yourself, when she started implementing these principles and habits, she improved her relationship, and this makes her an action oriented person today, because not just she has made a huge change in her physical health, but now she is looking forward to start her own business of teaching children. So very soon she will be financially independent, and I think that her success or her transformation is somehow, it actually gives fulfillment to me. Then Shri Pratap, he is the owner of a huge company, Bristol, and he works closely with hundreds of people on a daily basis. And he is a leader in his workplace. And after attending a session, he shares that I experienced the real transformation in all areas of life, like work, health, and inner peace. It has been very useful in daily life. Why? Because there are certain tools and habits of relationship building. When you apply them, you can see how you can actually climb on the ladder of success in your work area or your business. Dr. Deepika, she is a dental practitioner in North India, and initially when she started with me, she was actually confused and frustrated, and she was like as if people are taking advantage of her goodness. But now, after inculcating these habits, she can see the beautiful changes, like she became calmer and more peaceful from within. I can manage things better and have happier relationships now. There are other many hundreds of sharings there, but just because of lack of time, I cannot bring everything in front of you, but yes, these are certain things that you can go through and see how it is possible to create that transformation in your life. If you feel that no, no, ma'am, my marriage is not working that well, or I don't want to go ahead with this marriage, so this session might not be useful for me. So I just want to let you know that, see, if your old ways of behavior have given you this kind of result, then if you want to change your future, don't you think that you will have to change something in your present? Makes sense? Absolutely. So if you want to create your desired results, and if you want to attract amazing people into your life, if you want to attract love, success, and harmonious relationships, then you need to raise your vibrational frequency to the higher level. And it will not happen by operating from the old ways of thinking. It will happen when you start operating from a new way. Then only your raised vibrational frequency is going to attract you many magical and miraculous moments in area of money, health, and relationships. So before we move ahead, is it okay? And do you give me a permission to share my journey with you? Why I'm sharing with my journey? Because it has not been always so goody goody as you can sense now. My journey, my past was actually is full of many challenges and many rough patches. This is me, you can see the date 2014. So around 10 years back, I was underconfident, unhappy and burdened person. At this time, I was running my dental clinic and I had two little children. Not sure why I am there. So I am here attending some marriage, but I'm smiling on outside, but full of complaints within. I had so many complaints about my husband, my parents, and other people in my life. I was going through a dark phase and I was insecure about future. I was unsure whether I am really going to get that chance of living a happy and fulfilled life. Why did I do so much in my life if I have to face all these things? Is there any hope? Will I be able to experience joy and happiness truly? And frequent arguments in relationships was actually making me feel so frustrated and disappointment that I used to get triggered by anything. So it was very difficult for me to create a conversation at that time. I was dissatisfied in all areas of my life. So anyone who used to ask me, how are you? I was like, I'm not fine, because what is the reason for me to be happy about? Nothing is working. I was not earning enough money and I was frustrated because I thought that I was good for nothing. Not earning money, uh, not means I was feeling as if I was not a good wife. I was feeling that I was not that great mother, though I was doing all the duties. But I must admit that what I was doing, I was not putting my heart into it. Why? Because I was not happy. I was not happy in any area, and it was reflecting on every region. At whenever I used to go to clinic, there was no single day that I did not scold at my staff members. There was no week which passed without any argument with my husband. So of course, in this way, you cannot attract money and relationships, right? Or love. But I was in that bubble that I am good and there is nothing that I need to change because I am doing all my duties so well. So it is about them, and it is that they are not behaving in that way. And when but at that time I was not having any coach, and I was also not I was not getting any guidance from anyone. Now when I started working on myself, and when after a few years of this time I started getting that guidance from others, I became ready. Okay, let me go for some guidance, because if I don't take, then I will be wasting precious years of my life. And I wanted to give a good energy to my children. I did not want to be an unhappy mother. That was a driving factor. I wanted to be a good, loving wife. And this intention of contributing to my family made me go ahead with a leap of faith and hire a coach. When my coach worked upon me, I found out that there were many gaps that needed to be filled. So after working with him, If you can see, this is the latest picture. I'm living my life to the fullest. I'm enjoying the best of physical and mental health. I have better emotional stability. So even if you see me as a happy individual, the past was not that great, but today it is difficult for anyone to disturb me emotionally. I'm running my own dental practice successfully and earning enough money for my needs and wants. Whenever I want to do something, or I want to buy something, or I want to really do something in money terms, magically from somewhere money comes, and universe makes sure that my needs and wants are fulfilled. I enjoy a rock solid relationship with my supportive husband. This is my biggest achievement because uh, when I look back at my life, my major issue was my relationship. And when I worked upon it, I found out that it actually helped me raise my own vibrational frequency. So even if you have a good relationship with your life partner, always remember that when you elevate, there is always the next level. When you elevate your own relationship with your life partner to the next level, you actually become more productive at your work. And my life is a testimonial because when I created harmonious relationship with all the people, I started earning more money because all those principles started uh, flowing through me in my relationships with my staff members and patients also. So there is a stark difference now. I am 10 years younger here, but the transformation is absolutely evident because here, coming from depression and unfulfilled relationship, and today's this is a place where this is like a very beautiful vacation place where I had spent wonderful time and loving time with my husband. This makes me feel so satisfied today, and I am so thankful to God and the universe that I got that opportunity to take help from the world, because when I put my ego aside, then only new pathways started opening. Then life was not the same. I participated in many running competitions and stood second in Nagpur. I became a power lifter and fitness became my passion. I started exploring other avenues of life by contributing to orphan children and worked with a few schools. And then for that, I was rewarded for contribution to the orphanage. Also, I worked with Kavi Kulguru Kalidas University and talked about and trained them for mental health and dental health. And today I am having this wonderful relationship with wonderful man. He's the man of my life. He's my husband, Dr. Vishal. And I must say that whatever I am is actually the result of challenges we had together and the good times we had together. So when at one time I was questioning this, today I think that this is the best thing of my life. This is the most precious thing I have, because whatever I do and whatever I don't do, I have rock solid support from him. And when at one time it was so difficult for us to even handle a 5-minute conversation, today we sit down and have such intricate and such deep conversations about life for hours together. So life is so interesting, life is so meaningful, because I know that relationships are making me elevate myself to the next level. So, the most precious thing today I have is my family. Because when I implemented these principles on my family members, it became easier for me to implement the same principle with people in my clinic. This is my family, my parents in law, my two sons, my courses, and brother in law. So today I am on a mission to empower 100,000 people so that they manifest their truest identities and attract abundance in health, happiness, wealth, and relationships. Because I have gone through these challenges and felt at that place how it feels, now I want to make something out of my life. And if I go from this world, this knowledge or this learning should be transferred to the world. And if anyone is there in this world who is going through that phase of depression or feeling low and not being able to do much in work, or not being able to earn enough money, my message to them is that it is possible. It is possible when you work on your own mindset and when you work on inculcating habits of relationship building. With this mission, This is actually my dream to create an army of empowered people who elevate themselves and others. And if you are listening to this, then congratulations, because you are one of them. Yes, now we are together, and not because we are here by chance, but there is some vibrational alignment which makes you and me interact with each other on this online platform. What will happen if you don't do anything for your relationships? Nothing much. The feeling of unhappiness will still be there. Even after 10 years, you will be here at the same stage, living unfulfilled life with frustration, feeling of meaninglessness. Even if you earn a lot of money, you have everything, and if your relationships are not working, then this distance in relationships will lower your happiness quotient. And days just pass, but there is no aliveness. The fact is that we all are born to be alive. We are all born to feel joy life has to offer. And if you're not doing it, you're not doing justice to your creator. You're not living life. And if you're not living life, then what is the meaning of having it all? Warning from Mental Health Foundation is that absence of quality relationships is actually killing us faster than obesity and lack of exercise. And it is having adverse effect on the next generation. Single most reason for teenage mental health is family breakdown. So because relationship troubles are increasing all over the world, divorce rates are increasing slowly. This is the major factor of people getting depressed. So they say that instead of manufacturing more medicines for heart attacks or diabetes, build more fences around water bodies and tall buildings. This is dangerous and this is killing us, and that's why nowadays there is more evidence of depression in teenage children. Why? Because they are witnessing something they don't want to at home. The distance in relationship at home and relationship troubles is affecting their mental health. You might be thinking that we are having these arguments in our bedroom and our children don't know, but they sense your energy. The atmosphere is not nourishing and loveful if you are not able to share that loving space with your partner. Relationship breakdown is a huge problem all over the world. This is affecting the productivity. You have no idea how it is affecting the economy of the entire world. Because when a person is not happy within, if a person is not getting that loving and nurturing space at home, do you think that he will be or she will be able to give 100% to her or his workplace? That's not possible. If they are having trouble in their relationship, they cannot nurture the relationships at workplace. And if they are happy and in their family life, they give more. So these hurdles show up as poor conflict resolution. So some people who are not having those harmonious relationship in their family at home, when they go for work and there is any trouble, the conflict resolution skills are not that well developed because they are not able to reflect the same in their family life at home. There are trust issues. They cannot trust the other person because they think that that's a belief that is present within. Because like for example, if there is one lady whose name is Stacy and she is married to Richard, if Stacy feels that she can't trust her husband, and when she goes out to work, there is a possibility that she will not be able to trust any man, even if that man is trustworthy. So this will create conflicts if they are in the same project. And lack of respect for others will make them be in their own bubble. And if they are not able to respect themselves and respect others in family, then it becomes a habit, it becomes a loop. And it is not possible to respect others. They do that to just talk nice and look good, but in reality, they don't have respect for others when they don't respect themselves. These poor communication skills create a lot of misunderstandings at workplace. There is mental abuse and unresolved anger. This unresolved anger because they feel that they are not allowed to express themselves freely and fully, they feel depressed. This unresolved anger is so dangerous that it comes out in in the form of addictions, addiction to substances, alcohol, and many unwanted things. And when you go home like this with unresolved anger, you just take out that anger to your children because they are powerless components. And this unresolved anger at workplace can have detrimental effect on child's mental health. Even if you are having poor relationships at work or at home, remember that you're the same person. You're the same person who is going home and who is going to office. So your relationship building skills are going to affect your life. So coming to this wonderful, wonderful 5 habits of successful relationship that last, I just want to make sure that you are paying attention to this topic. Make sure that you leave everything aside right now and pay 100% attention from this point on. So listen closely. Number one habit is connect before you correct. Yeah, you heard it right. Connect before you correct and increase the likelihood of cooperation. Now, let me tell you a story with you. So, Stacy and Richard, they are a couple. Okay. So, when they meet each other at home after work, if they are like they come home and Stacy is one is organized, extremely organized person, Stacy is organized and Richard is not, for example. And they come home and Stacy says, "Oh, Richard, you must learn to organize your things well. See how our house looks." And then when every day the same thing happens, every day the same thing happens, this can be one small simple thing, but it can be a reason of their separation. Because in the long run what happens is Stacy doesn't like many things about Richard, because when she comes home she finds out that all the time his space is disorganized. But then now, whenever, if you think that this is natural for Stacy to feel angry, correct, here is the thing, we always go ahead correcting people before we connect them. And we have this judgment and we have these boxes in our head of right and wrong. So whatever they do, whether if it is right it's good, if it is bad it's bad. So we decide what is good and bad. Instead, in spite of correcting them, why can't we connect with them? Because when you connect, they start cooperating. But no one taught us, and no one told us about this, because as children we were bombarded with a lot of information, advices, and what to do and what to not to do instructions. Now if we know only one way of treating people, then we are going to do the same in our marriages and in our workplace. So connecting with them means it is about communicating and valuing the person and connecting with them as human beings. Do you value the person, or you value the act? That's important. If you value the person, then don't condemn the person. Instead, look at the act as an issue that you both can resolve, right? It is about holding back our need to give constructive feedback. As I already shared, when we were children our parents gave us advices about what to do and what not to do. In the drive to make our children the best human beings, we start being the same and we are not changing any pattern. What is it doing to us and to our family? It actually making us a machine, not a person, not a human being. And then we feel disconnected from ourselves because we are not trying enough to connect with other human beings. So as human beings, our work is to connect with them on human level. So Stacy has a choice to sit down with Richard and look into his life and listen from his perspective and first connect with him what makes him being disorganized. And when they have this conversation with the intention of connecting and evolving together and being cooperative to solve this issue, then frustration will not build up because this problem can be solved from the root. But this is very rare because we are not trained to do it. It requires the real work of letting go of our judgments and opinions about what they say or do. All of us are holding some judgment and opinion about relationships. A wife should be like this, a husband should be like that, co-workers should be like this, then staff must behave like that, boss should do this, parents should behave in this way, children should behave in this way. So we have all the images, and when any person doesn't fit into that image, we find that this person is bad. And even if that person is not bad and good for us, we have judgments about all the people, and especially about people who have been in our life closely. So people with whom we have the most connection, or people we love the most, we have the most judgments. So, by letting go of your judgments and opinions about what they say, you will be able to connect, because you will be able to see them as human beings. Appreciate before you advise. We are not naturally wired and trained to appreciate, because our brain is trained and naturally inclined to look for faults in situations and people, so that we can find out if there is any danger. So our work of brain is to see if there is any threat. Now that we are living in the civilized society, this survival instinct is creating negative effect on our relationships and on our life in general. So to appreciate before you advise is a fantastic habit at workplace and in your personal relationships as well. If you go for work and you find out that some particular person is not doing the job properly, or you find out that this should not have been done in this way, this should have been at that way, what is your first reaction? Oh, you should do this, you should do that, and all that. But can you just take a pause, look within yourself, and be aware of what you can do? So, if you just learn this, connect before you correct, then instead of hopping on to the mistake directly, just connect with them. Hey, how are you? Or whatever is related to your conversation, and appreciate before you advise. So, instead of saying you should have done this, you should not have done, just appreciate what they have done. Now, this is difficult because if there is any white cloth and there is a small black spot, our brain notices that black spot first, doesn't appreciate the whiteness of the remaining cloth. Correct? This instinct gets reflected in all our relationships. So, if there is one person who is not doing enough, or who has done 10 good things but 5 wrong things, our brain will keep on reminding us how those 5 wrong things have affected us. So this requires true real work and energy from your side, because this you have to put aside this natural instinct and be in that human connection mode. So appreciate all those things. Even if you find that there are 5 mistakes and only one good thing, learn to find it out. Find out that one good thing, appreciate before you advise, because when you appreciate them, they feel respected, and when they feel respected, they can take that feedback better, and they are more driven to correct their own mistake. It is very easy to take people for granted, especially with whom we are working every day, or we it's very easy to take people like our parents for granted. It is very easy to take our partner for granted. But always remember, people go where they feel welcomed and stay where they feel valued. So if you are not appreciating them, if it is your workplace, then always remember that they have a choice to leave this job and to go that to that place where they are valued and they feel welcome. And when do they feel welcomed and valued? When they get appreciated for what they do. Simple. If your dose of criticism is more than your dose of appreciation, then this relationship will not last longer. Make sure that throughout the day, your dose of appreciation or acknowledgement or connecting is more than your criticism, suggestions, or advices. People will always have n number of options. This is also one of the major reasons why divorces are on the rise, because people don't feel valued, they don't feel appreciated. There will always be this case that people will be different from each other. There is no wonder in it, because this world is full of people who are absolutely different from each other. It is like a garden. If you go to a garden, there are different flowers, different plants, and different crop. Number 3, Ask before you assume. This helps you get over the frustration that comes from mistrust and misunderstanding that creep into relationships. I have experienced this so much in my own life. I always felt that I thought that you will do it. And he was like, but you didn't tell me. And I was like, but I assumed because you have to do it. How do you assume? How do you assume? You cannot know what's going on in their mind. Human mind is a very complex structure. So even if you are an expert at mind reading, my dear friend, if you assume things thinking that you know how to read mind, it is always a safe practice to ask before you assume, to avoid any frustrations, mistrust, and misunderstanding. Because we have different expectations from different people, and these different expectations and assumptions create unnecessary trouble for both. And then starts the blame game, which is not good for the institution or family. So when there is like these assumptions, I thought that you will submit this project before 16th of this date. We had already talked about it. And the other person thinks that, but you gave me other work, I got busy, so I assumed that you will just increase, you will postpone that date of submission. How did you assume? Then the other person, how did you assume that I can do so much? So can you see there can be many arguments, frustrations, and many different directions where this conversation can go. And this creates mistrust. This makes them feel uh, not respected. And when a person doesn't feel respected and appreciated, and when they also feel that how did they assume, they should have at least asked me, then there will be that permanent damage which is being done to that relationship bit by bit every day, bit by bit every day. So whenever a relationship breaks in between an employee and employer, or whenever a relationship breaks between husband and wife or any two persons, it doesn't happen suddenly, it doesn't happen in a day. It happens by little experiences every day, bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. It is a very slow process. For example, it is like if there is a drop, if there is a leakage in your tap, and every minute one drop falls down on the tile, immediately there will not happen anything. But if you don't resolve this issue, if you don't call a plumber and if you don't correct it, and you will look at that tile after 3 years or 4 years, you will find out that there is a crater. Now one single drop at one time doesn't have much weight and power to create that crater, but slowly when it happens again and again and again and again, it creates an impact. This happens in relationships the most, and this can be any relationship. So when you inculcate this habit of connecting them, appreciating them, and asking before you assume, you save yourself from a lot of trauma, damage, and loss. Because whenever there is a blame game, it is absolutely unpleasant, because blame game is not good for anyone. It strips away from of your self esteem and your self respect. Be curious and not critical. Now, be curious, not critical means, just a minute. Be curious and not critical. Now, when you are curious to know what's going on in their mind, then you are not critical, and this curiosity makes you listen before you talk. Now, if you are not curious, what will happen? You will be continuously be listening to that voice in your head. But my dear friends, the reality is not present in your head. It is not always true that what you feel right is right. Sometimes the truth can be something else. So when you are curious, instead of criticizing the person for what they have done, there is a possibility that you have only half information. So be curious about what they're coming up, what is behind it, what is their emotion behind it. So if it's your child, for example, and he has done any mistake, you might be saying, oh, but this is wrong to do this, or this is wrong to take things from other people. But did you listen to him? If you, and you can listen only when you're curious to know more. Yes, I'm curious to know what made him do that. When you ask this question to yourself, what made them do that? It will stop you from judging people. And when you stop judging people, you will be able to listen to them with curiosity. Listen before you talk. So when you listen before you talk, you let go of your urge to put your opinion. We all have opinions. We think that this is my experience, but this is just an opinion. Your experience might not be similar of all the other people in the world. So many times as parents, we start putting our opinion first, then we start telling our children, this is my opinion, this comes out of experience. But there is a possibility that they might have some different experience than you, so their opinion might differ. So listen, listen, listen. If you just listen, then you might get some new data. This is very important in if you are working at your workplace, in any office, in any organization. The most missing element is listening. So listening means what? Listening requires practice. It requires a lot and lot of practice. We are in illusion that we are listening, but we are not. We are actually hearing. We are hearing words, and we are judging them according to their words. But when you listen to the tone. We try to connect with the other person by looking at their body language, their emotions, what they are going through. And for that, what is most important thing is to go out of your head and go to their world, step into their world to see how the world looks like from their side. Now, let's do an experiment here. You are right now watching this on the computer screen, right? Now, and you are looking at me on the computer screen, correct? Now, if we are face to face each other, I can see that wall, or I can see that structure which is behind you. Can you see that? No, you cannot see that. But when will you be able to see that? When you change your place and come to my side, then you can see that wall, correct? Right now you cannot. You cannot see what is behind you. This is what happens when we are not listening. Because when we are having that conversation, thinking that we are having a conversation, thinking that we are listening, we are actually listening, or we are getting data only half side, half big story. But when you look at that matter from 360-degree view, that means when you just change your angle, you just shift your camera, you can look at the other person's point of view. And when you look at the other person's point of view, then you will stop this fight within your mind. How can they not understand this simple thing? This distinction was very helpful for me to handle my staff members in my clinic. Because when I used to feel that why are they not doing this, and when I started looking from their perspective, I found out that, oh my god, I am telling them this work which they are not trained to do. So then my intention and my style of work started shifting. If she is good at organizational skills, if she is good at documentation, why am I giving her work of talking to patient? And then if she is good at cleaning work, why am I giving the work of documentation? This, you can just discover these talents of people, their abilities and their limitations, only when you stop judging people and start listening to them. Imagine a situation where you want to really express something and the other person is continuously correcting you, continuously judging you, criticizing you. Will you be able to have a nice conversation with them? No, you will have a lot of struggle. You will expect at that moment that someone should just listen to me without judgment. So what you want is actually the need of every human being on this planet. Yes, every human being on this planet. Unfortunately, we are not trained to listen. Unfortunately, we are not trained to appreciate. Unfortunately, we are forgetting every day our real work. The real work that we are born to do is to connect with other human beings, right? So be it at workplace or with your family members, your main work is to connect with them, contribute to their lives, listen to them without judgment. But because our survival instinct is stopping us to from being empathetic towards them, we are too judgmental to carry these things. Now, if we don't do this, what will happen? Nothing big will happen. Your life will be the same as you are living. But there's just a little shift of perspective that I want you to have today. Where are we investing our money and time and energy nowadays? We want a huge house, we want luxury cars, we want these cosmetics to decorate our cupboards, and we want all those luxurious things so that we can flaunt when we go out in the society. We are investing in all these materialistic things like gifts, clothes, cars, and houses. The fact is that all these things make sense when you are happy in your relationships. Now everyone is earning money, but what is lacking in today's times, in families, and in society at large is happiness. And this happiness is getting affected because they are not having nourishing relationships at home and workplace. Ask someone who has gone through these troubles, and they will be able to tell you how their millions of bucks are not of any use because they are having this relationship issue. It is just like, ask a person who doesn't have teeth, ask him how it feels like eating without teeth. A person who has teeth doesn't even know that he is having that pleasure and comfort of eating food comfortably. But the other person who doesn't have teeth misses this simple pleasure every day. The same is about our life. When we think that everything is good in my life, and we are investing everywhere our money and energy, we are ignoring the main thing, and that is relationship building. Because relationship building is going to bring you happiness, money, and fulfillment. And this is what is called as peaceful and fulfilling life. Real investment is in you. This is one investment which is never going to get wasted, because it is not like stock market that you put your money in. If it goes up, you will be benefited. If it goes down, you will not be. Real investment is in you, because you are everywhere. You are in your family, you are at your workplace, you are the same person who is earning money, you are the same person who is talking to other people, you are the same person who is taking care of your own health, right? We do multiple things to search and look for happiness outside, but the real happiness lies in you elevating your own relationships, because people matter. Even if you feel that my relationships are good, everything is good, I have a good marriage, and I just need to work on my work or job or anything, I guarantee you that if you are not trained to listen to people, if you are not trained to build these connections, if you are not trained to inculcate these five habits in your relationships, then you will not be able to scale up higher. Because all our life we are dealing with relationships. Where does money come from? Just one simple question. Where does money come from? It comes from other people, right? If you are in a job, and if you are earning X amount of money, there are people. And what we are working actually is benefiting other people. So all of us are actually earning money through other people. In your family life, if you're not having a great relationship with your parents, children, and partner, your happiness is going to get affected. So whether it is your money area, your health area, or your relationship area, all the areas are based on how you manage people around you. So people management skills are really important life skills nowadays. You cannot be successful without good relationships at work and in your family. If you think that in 2024 I will be richer and that, if you have so many money goals, but remember, unless and until you have these fulfilling relationships in your life, no money in this world, no luxury item in this world is going to give you peace and fulfillment, because it is not present in those things, it is present in you. And how will you discover that? You will discover your inner beauty when you inculcate these habits of relationship. Why is it important? Because we are not taught and trained for relationships. Do you think that there was a subject like physics, chemistry, mathematics? Was there a subject of relationship building? No, there was not. Do you think that your brain is wired to appreciate people? No, your brain is actually wired to look for faults in people and situation, and that's why it comes very naturally to us to complain. And the more we complain, by like attracts like, we attract more situations to complain about. So this is all about training. This is not about information. If you think that this information is going to be useful for me, it will be if you start training yourself from today. Good relationships make us live longer and a good quality life as well. Research says that people who have good marriages or good relationships with fair relationships with all the people, they live more quality life and they live longer. If you don't get trained for it, what worse can happen? Okay, Pallavi, I understood that the relationships are important. But then what worse can happen? Nothing will happen. You will stay at this place for 10 or next 20 years. And even if you are like, this is a picture which says it all. It is not about just living together as husband and wife. It is also about at your workplace. You workplace means if there's a company or there's it's a system, correct? Family is a system. Now in this system, if many people are living together or working together, and if they are disconnected from each other, do you think that there will be a healthy exchange of ideas, healthy exchange of communication? There is not, no possibility. And if it is not possible, how will you co-create? How you increase and improve the results of your life? And we are not here to stay separated from each other. We are here to work together, to coexist with each other by accepting the differences we have and by understanding the way we are or the way they are. This is the worst thing that can happen to this world. Now, mobiles are not here to blame. I think it's a wonderful technology that we can use to connect with people. We are so close yet so far, and this is the feeling that most marriages are living with. We are so close yet so far, and this is the most painful thing any couple or any relationship can go through. So, on the surface, we are just seeing in the air that Valentine's Day is there, love is in the air. But in reality, if you look into the reality of relationships in multiple families, you will find out that there is no such real closeness with in maximum couples. I will not say that in all of them, and every person is getting affected by these issues, especially the next generation. So our work is to foster great relationships so that we we give back to the society, to the next generation, in the form of love and nourishment. Now in relationship building area, there is no limit to how much you can learn and how much you can practice. There is a lot more to learn and to implement this knowledge. Do you agree? Because in our life all of us have tried n number of things about relationship. Many times it didn't work, and then this was a question, what should I do? I have done this, I have done that, I have done this course or this training. Many times the most basic and valuable things are very simple, and when we start just looking at the tall building at the top, we forget the foundation. So these five habits are nothing but the foundation of your harmonious and miraculous relationship. How many of you realize that if you do not implement this, you could be wasting a lot of your time, money, and energy? If you feel so, then you are at the right place, because if I am going to show you something transformational, are you ready for the journey of transformation? If you are ready for the journey of transformation, not just for your family or with your wife or husband, it is also for self, business, and family. Then there is this life transformation intensive, which is our one-on-one coaching program. And this program makes us create that transformation in our mindset, relationships, mental health, and career growth. Because happiness is not out there, it is in you. So when you work on yourself, everything around you starts shifting. So in this life transformation intensive, which is 100 days one-on-one coaching program, we work on your mindset, and we also work on your relationships. There are certain tools and certain habits of relationships which can make you attract loving moments with the same people you are living with. Of course, if your relationships get improved, you don't have to work differently on your mental health. And the added bonus is career growth. If you go out and you implement these relationship principles in any deal, you don't know how much more money you can earn just with these principles. So, Valentine's gift. Are you ready and excited for this Valentine's Day gift? I am excited to give because, as I shared earlier, I am just living by my value of growth, contribution, and compassion. So this is my Valentine's Day gift for you. Free one-on-one session of this self-discovery coaching call with me. So if you have worked with me in the past, you know that every session that I take here in my community, Elevate Yourself Hub, is actually value added. It will add a lot of value. But on this Valentine's Day, I'm offering you one-on-one self-discovery coaching call with me, and which is worth rupees 10,000 or $150 per session. But if you are attending this session and if you have come this far, then this one on one coaching call is absolutely free for you. Absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything to me. But make sure that time is precious, yours and mine as well. So make sure that you are driven to create this transformation in your life. If you are really committed to create that transformation in yourself, in your business, and in your relationships, then this is the right place for you. Because when you work on your relationship, when you work on yourself, you start creating magical changes everywhere in your life, because people are everywhere. People are everywhere. And if you think that no, we don't want to do that, then I just want to let you know that these habits are going to heal you. Yeah, you are extending that warmth, support and love to other soul, and the blessings of other soul is going to heal your soul. So healing doesn't require any particular processes. Just simple tools are going to make you experience the magic and joy life has to offer. Why am I doing this? Good question. Again, my massive transformative purpose is holistic healing and mental well-being for all. And every activity I do revolves around this intention: holistic healing and mental well-being for all. In a couple of months, last few months, I got a wonderful opportunity to interact with many people, especially online. And I found out that people are suffering. They have many relationship troubles, they are going through rough patches, and even their mental well-being is affected. It is very easy for us to judge people, but when I have this heart to heart communication with them, I feel that compassion, because I feel how difficult it is to live such a life when you are not meant to live a frustrated, disappointed, and unloved life. So if you are here, I just want to let you know that you deserve love. You deserve all the happiness in this world. And I am here to walk on this path with you, hand in hand, so that you discover that you discover that unlimited supply of love within you, instead of looking for it in the outside world. Yeah, and it is possible. So this program is not about finding your life partner. Please make sure. Many people misunderstand this, but this is about building your relationships with main people, with the stakeholders that you have in your life. And I am on a mission to empower 100,000 people so that they manifest their truest identities and live fulfilling, peaceful, and abundant lives. If you are listening to this and if you resonate with this, then thank you very much. I'm truly thankful because you are a part on this mission. Yeah. When I had made a decision of working with my coach, it changed my life. It changed my destiny. I can say with full confidence today, I am living my dream life. Yeah, I'm doing what I'm loving the most. This coaching work has given me immense fulfillment. I am working as a dental surgeon in my own clinic. I have a rock solid support of my husband. I have two loving children. And I think whenever I want or need something, all my financial requirements are fulfilled magically. So I think that this has not always not been the reality. My past was full of pain, depression, challenging moments, rough patches in my marriage. But because I made a decision, it changed my destiny. It didn't change just my destiny, it changed the destiny of my children and the way they look at relationships. Because with these habits, they also learned to, to, to behave in a particular way, or to treat other human beings in a loving way. So there is no strategy, there is no method or there is no system actually. Relationship building is just about being a more empathetic and compassionate person. Yeah. But then, as I said, that it doesn't come naturally to us, and that's why decisions change your destiny as it changed mine. And this is a limited time offer because, as I shared with you, there are many people I interact with, and there are coaching calls. Um, my Elevate Yourself community, they have one-on-one sessions with me. Then there are programs, live sessions, recorded sessions. So a lot of work goes on in the coaching field, and especially if I want to work one-on-one with any person, I have to study that person because the program is tailor-made. We make that program specially designed for you. So if you have relationship trouble, then your issues might require different training. Some other person might be facing some different issue. So every person is different and their innate needs are different. So if this limited time offer is actually limited for the month of February till 28th of February, you are free to book a call with me, which will be free of charge, and that is self discovery call. The fastest way to grow is to know how to think and take required action. So, why to do this? Because we are here for a limited time. I don't think that I'm going to live on this planet Earth for 200, 300 years. I am here for limited time, correct?